What's up, Neo Genesis family? I think you guys understand what we're up to today. We're inside of my garage, so we're back into a little training session. The reason why, every time I walk outside, I cross, path with people, and then they ask me, what are you up to? What are you up to? They always think about the gym, but I've been running a lot and I feel guilty because I haven't put the time on my strength. I haven't been deadlifting, squatting, or anything of that matter. So for today, the goal is to test a little bit where I am. So it's gonna be a hard training, but it's gonna be a test of, did I lose strength? Am I, weaker than I used to be? Or in the opposite, did I get stronger by just running, by just putting my muscle to different challenges outside? So it's gonna be interesting to see. We're gonna have some heavy lifting combined with also explosive movement like slam balls. We're also gonna have a very nice little core workout at the end. So if you guys are interested in that, just stay tuned, follow this little training we're gonna do today, and we're gonna have fun together. Let's go, let's get it, guys. For the warm up, the first drill we're gonna have is slam ball. So we try to be intentional with the slamming. We're gonna slam as hard as possible, and then we're gonna have some jumps. With the jumps, we try to get as high as possible and be technical with it. And then we're gonna have band pull apart. Try to be large, we try to control the band. We don't let the band dictate the pace. We dictate the pace. And then we're gonna have dead hang from the bar. This is what our warm-up's gonna look like today. So let's get it, let's make it happen. Already feeling a nice pump. Try to get the slam ball over your head. Boom, extend at the hip and at the ankle. Boom, it's gonna give you more power. Today, not only the weight are gonna be heavy, but the topics too. Because I've been thinking a lot. And I need some inputs or outputs, or whatever puts from you guys. I wanna know what you think about that. I wonder, the more I age, the more I'm faced with coaching my athletes. While one of the main reasons why they do train with me, I think, is what they're getting from it in terms of experience. Not just the knowledge, the experience. The fact that what I'm teaching them, I'm also doing. Not just telling someone what to do, but doing it yourself, which means looking the part in the end. So I've been in a big dilemma because I'm an ex-athlete, still able to do what I used to do, I might even do it better now that I'm done with it. So I just wonder where, as a society, we position ourselves now in 2025, soon 2026, should trainers, be able to perform to a certain extent what they're teaching. And also, more and more, and I'm not pointing fingers, okay? I have no one in mind when I talk about that, but I'm just thinking about how many people are teaching right now, the athletes, and they can't teach themselves how to do it. So if you're coaching someone how to be fast with all of the science you possess, why are you not able to reproduce that same amount of results? I wonder if you know so much, if what you teach is so good, why are you not able to do it? And that's not in any shape or form a judgment. I'm really just wondering why. Because the knowledge is super important, so you want to be knowledgeable, but at the same time, I find you need experience. You need to be able to experience some sort of, results that you're pretending you can give someone else. Because at the end of the day, I find that, are you the reason why this ex-athlete is performing, or is it more the placebo effect of believing into something that makes that athlete that is already gifted able to perform? So I'm just wondering, when I sit down with myself sometimes, I only think about, because I might not be the most knowledgeable person, but I do like to research. I do like to see, what others are thinking. But at the end of the day, we're all entitled to have our opinions on what training should be like, how it should feel like. Should you be more towards science or more towards experience, or bro science versus nerd science? I think we should be open to everything. But at the end of the day, I find we're really siding on one side of the spectrum, which is knowledge is everything. But I would just want to know your take on that. Like, if you want to let me know how you feel about a certain trainer that knows everything, but that still can't, be fit, be in shape, be performant. That's really something I'm looking to understand. Because if you have the knowledge, why are you not able to apply it? That's a legitimate question I have. It's been a while since we've been at it, so it does feel good. It's humbling though. And to be honest, it just shows that no matter how high, no matter how good you get, if you stop, you're gonna, lose some capacity. So it's always good to do it though, because now I still feel like I have room for improvement, which if you ever keep going and you never stop, sometimes you will feel like you plateau, you will feel a little bit less motivated. But I feel human because, I got very good at running, sprinting, but now getting back into the groove of training inside of the gym is hard. I have to push further mentally just to be able to be motivated. So if you guys feel that, you're not alone, all right? So now let's get into our first part of the training, which is deadlift. The reason why I like to use a trap bar instead of a barbell for now is just first the safety aspect of it. You have to use more of your legs, less of your back. Since it's been a while, I haven't been performing deadlifts. I'm not scared at all. I really like deadlift, but I still want to have an idea strength-wise of where I am at. So the trap bar is really useful for that. Also, since we're doing lots of running, jumping, the trap bar emulates very well the technique you have to do when you do, by example, standing vertical jumps. It's the same muscles that are involved. Of course, with the weight, it's a different purpose a little bit because now we're working on strength. When you have to jump, you have to be explosive, which means, rate of force development. You need to be fast in a very little amount of time. But I've always said, I don't think like the rest of us, like for me, even though you're working on strength, I still believe that it's gonna help you jump higher or eventually get better results in plyometrics, dimensions. So I really like to work with the trap bar. When I had the chance to get one, I jumped on the opportunity. It's a little, different than the barbell, but not so long from now, I will be using the barbell again and I'll go for heavy deadlifts. But for today, the trap bar is doing the work and I'm doing the work with it. So we have to stay focused. Despite the fact it's safer, we still gotta be focused on technique, keep the core braced. We want to start low and we want to keep the spine neutral. You don't want to have the spine, bent, and you don't want to use too much of your lower back. So you keep, your hips engaged and you push hard through the floor and your heels and you're gonna get at the top of it. So let's make it happen. We have 3 reps for that next set and we're just jumping from weight to weight until we reach my maximum for the day. So we're done with the deadlift. I'm soon gonna present you what's next in this workout. My takeaways from today's deadlift. First, if it's been a while, if you haven't deadlifted in a while, try to measure where you're at before trying to wiggle lift or anything. I knew I was able to go around those max weights I used to do, but I wouldn't go for a crazy set of like 8 reps today. This is not the goal. I'm just doing a little chin check there. I just wanna know if I lost a lot. I do feel very strong and explosive. So when I push the floor, I do feel that the weight is taking off, and then it's just mental. You try to keep on pushing. You try to stay composed, which means you don't want your core to collapse. So you keep everything nice and braced, and it's gonna help you through the movement. And it's also gonna help you not get injured, because you know, the core area is where people get injured doing squats, deadlifts, or heavy, you know, compound movements. So if ever you try to go heavy, let me know what are your max weights, okay? I want to know where you're at. And if you're trying to break some plateaus, don't hesitate to write to me, because for me, it used to be what, 315, and even before that, it was deadlifting 225 pounds. And then, okay, you break that plateau, you get to 315, depending on your age, your maturity, where you're at in your experience of lifting. And then after that, you just see that the world is big, man. Even if you're a big fish in a small pond, there's the ocean somewhere. So there's bigger fishes, so people are always stronger. But what I preach is really to do it by yourself. You don't cheat the process. To this point, if you're still following, I'm really glad. Stay tuned, and also just listen a little bit what I'm sharing with you, and don't hesitate to give me your take on certain topics, whether it is the technique, the philosophy. If you have challenges, you can speak to me about your own life. I find that this is what broadcasting and YouTube is doing. It opens the world, you know, to sharing and also caring for each other. So every one of my followers is important. If you follow the journey, I really appreciate y'all. Man, that's the start. And there's so many big channels around here. I have to keep going despite the fact that there's bigger channels, because if I can only change one thing in one person's life, I'll be happy. That's my mission, so let's do it. And now we're gonna go to rows, all right? So the bent rows with a barbell. The only tips I'm gonna give, it's an hinge movement, so you're gonna crack at the hip, you try to stay low, you also crack at the knees. I also want the spine to stay neutral, so a little bit the same as with the trap bar deadlift. So you try to stay nice, composed, and braced, and after that you pull the bar. It's always nice to do rows because it's good to develop raw power, okay? It's nothing fancy, you just need weights, a barbell. You don't break your heads on doing fancy stuff. So today we're working pulling, strong back, and I'm pretty glad to see the numbers we're putting out today, and we're gonna come up with better numbers eventually, but to start the fall grind, this is a good thing. So let's do it. I'm gonna start here with the barbell with two 45s on each side, and then from there maybe climb up a little bit. Those are gonna be sets of 8, so it's a good amount of reps to start, you know, in terms of volume. These days, I've been thinking a lot, right? 3 letters, W-H-Y. Why? Why am I doing all of that? I've had some hard times also in 2025, you know, had to face life straightforward. I had to face myself in the mirror too. I had to question why. Losing people, also being more isolated sometimes, maybe also being surrounded, you know, just working a lot on this channel, evolving, made me question why am I doing it, you know, because is it a superficial aspect? Am I just working to look good? Am I doing it because for me, it's like the only thing I can do? Am I scared sometimes also, you know, just to let go, because it's something that has been in my life so much. It's like the root of my tree, you know, or roots, because I have this, I also have, you know, the field work, but most of the time it all involves sweating, running, jumping. So it made me question, you know, who am I without all of that? You know, do I have a good personality inside, or is it only, you know, the outside? I think that everyone comes to that point as an athlete when you retire, you try to look for an identity outside of your sport. And for me, I would say the answer came clearly because I questioned myself a lot, and then I was thinking about, you know, I've been playing football and I like to play, you know, I like to have fun. I'm also just doing it even without it. Like if I was a basketball player, a baseball player, a weightlifter, I would still work, you know, I would still have fun. I would find ways to be creative with it and make it entertaining. So it's only then, after thinking about all of that, that I realized that I am more than the sport I do. And I hope most athletes will also come to that point where, yes, it does define a lot of who you become, but it is not all of it. don't let yourself get swallowed into thinking that if in sport it doesn't work, you need to let go of everything. So then when you look at yourself 10 years after, getting done, you look nothing like what you used to be, because all of what you've done was only, in the goal. If you're a tennis player, if you're this, that, then you do that. And then when you're done, you're not recognizable. So for me, I just think that this is who I truly am. But after that, I still deal with the frustration every day of knowing that despite everything I've done, every work, every rep, every, drop of sweat, it's still gonna go. So yes, you have to pull everything you can towards you, but at the same time, you still gotta have the maturity to let go when it's time to let go, and also let other people enjoy a bit of that. You don't wanna be too greedy. It's the same with money, it's the same with relationships, it's the same with weightlifting, sport, everything you have in life. It doesn't even belong to you. The only thing you really have is your values, discipline, what you do with your life, how you share it with others. So for me, it become the medium between who I am and who you are. So I'm just trying to reach as many people as possible through what I think is the greatest aspect I have, or the thing I've worked the most on. So it's training. So I'm sharing it with you, but it's not only that. I'm not just training to look good or showing off. No, even if I wouldn't have a camera, I would do it. Even if I wouldn't have expensive material, I would do it. Even if I would be in the middle of nowhere, which sometimes I think I am, I would still do it. So I just hope you guys, if you're an athlete or if you're aging, and I say aging, but not like a senior, but before that, if you're a father, if you're a brother or someone in mid 30s, 40s, 50s, you still got time ahead of you, but still time is running, So I still encourage you to run, but at the same time to find a purpose in doing so. It could be to be a positive role model. When I work with kids, most of the time what I like is that I'm able to still run with them, and enjoy some type of youth, even though I have to tell them I'm done doing it, but it's still a pleasure for me to share those moments with them. So making my body able to do it is a great thing. So yeah, there's a lot of fight inside of me. Sometimes it's negative, positive. Not everything is positive, not everything is negative, but I do think that sticking to a plan, a discipline, will eventually lead you further than if you do nothing, if you give up, if you just let your boat go. So try to still fight against the current. If your society, your culture is not encouraging you guys to get better, then fight against this machine. Become the machine and then drag others towards you, because it's not only me, it's more of a share it forward type of thing, which if I can inspire one person, that person also inspires someone else, then we all get better in the end. So that's my goal, because at the end of the day, we're all gonna go. We're all gonna go. I could be the strongest, fastest, best looking or whatever. I'm still gonna end up weak, but hopefully not alone. So it's all about being good from the inside and attracting or also transforming others that comes into contact with you. If they have a bad day, don't let it become yours. Change theirs by make it better. For those who knows and those who don't, I'm gonna bring you to something I really like to do. Pull-ups. So we're gonna do pull-ups. Let's stay honest today. We're gonna do 15 reps times 3. So it's gonna be the start of our fall grind. There's a term going on in the streets called hybrid. This term that goes along the other words, the other term, athlete. And I like the idea, to be honest, hybrid, a mix of different strength all in one person, all in one. And I like it. The only thing is, when I talk about what I'm trying to develop, I haven't found the term, that defines what I'm trying to become the best. So I'm really trying to find the best definition of what I'm trying to accomplish with myself and with y'all, those who try to do what we do. Because I just think that as humans, we're generalists. We're better than other species at, combining, doing a lot of things. not only we can move on land, we can also swim, we can also jump. So to a certain extent, we can fly. But my goal is a little bit different. Yes, I'm trying to be an hybrid, but I'm trying to also overcome most of the weaknesses we have as a ceiling, you know, that glass ceiling over our head. So I'm really trying to become better than that. Like, you know, I find that as humans, we're better generalists, but in this society, they encourage us to specialize. And I do think that it is better, you know, to be a jack of all trades sometimes. For sure, if you can be the top 1% in a discipline, it's gonna reward you, you know, you're gonna get paid, you're gonna be recognized for the work you've put in that said discipline. But for me, I think that the goal after that, you know, after your sports career, or if you don't even practice sports, like, it's good if you can become good or even great in a lot of different areas. So you try to run fast, try to be strong. You could be also endurant. You could also look good and muscular, but if someone tries to outrun you, you move at the same speed than them. So yeah, this is where I'm trying to go. And naturally, it's not even just taught, you know, it's like life. I've been just overseeing my channel and like how it's been a while since I've been filming, you know, in my garage. And I noticed that, yeah, by nature, when it's summer, the sun is out, we're outside more, we don't need the gym as much. But you do find ways to work on your fitness, which could be your speed, which could be your footwork, which could be your endurance. You could go run marathons and stuff. But then after that here, where I live in Quebec, there's winter. Winter is right around the corner looking for you. So then inside, you find ways to keep getting better. You could be lifting weights and stuff. But what I'm saying is just don't specialize too much in only one area. Like, see all of that as a big circle, like everything, you know, in this universe seems to be in a sphere aspect or a circle. So it's just, you know, in one quarter of that year, you could put the emphasis on something, and then the other, and then the other, and then the other, and you go all the way around, and then it comes back. And then from there, you still get nice room for improvement, and you don't get discouraged. And the thing is, you still got to go through it, because yes, you're going to take a step back, but sometimes it's like you're going to go further after that. So that's my goal. I did not find the term yet to define us, but it's coming. But it's more than just an athlete. Like, I want us to become like very highly proficient human beings, you know, and like also redefine what being human is, because I'm really disappointed in what it is. When I look at Wikipedia, like, I don't like when I write, you know, what is a human being? What is the limit of a human being? How fast a human being can run or jump? Like, bro, we got to put that bar a little bit higher. Why? Why we stop evolving? Of course, technology, but at the same time, I still think we have room for improvement, and then in those next 100 years, we could lay the foundations for a bigger pyramid, you know? But if we stay there and accept we just run to that, and let's go. We gotta do it. Now, guys, what I'm bringing y'all is dumbbell press. We're gonna keep it simple today. 3 sets of 8. We're gonna go fairly heavy. Fairly, I say, but it could be, you know, anything. You just do your dumbbell presses. So we go for 8 reps, and then we're done for everything that's weight related. The rest of the workout's gonna be abs, and we're gonna be done for today. So, dumbbell press, some nice little tips there. Keep that core braced. If you break, if you collapse at the core, it's not good. Keep everything nice and tight, right? Boom, it's solid. And also it's gonna help you improve. You're gonna have more strength at the top. So keep everything inside braced and tight. The last little finisher we have is abs, like promised, like advertised. So we're gonna start with L-sits. It's been a while since I've been at it. So we're gonna go for 12 to 15 reps because I have to let myself some room to see, okay, do I feel like 15? Can I do it? And then after that, we're gonna do Russian twist. Today, we're gonna have the help of the slam ball here, 35 pounders. It could be something else, could be a dumbbell, could be a kettlebell, could be a ball like this one. Only your hands if ever you're starting doing it. So those two exercises are good when you combine them because you have something that's more, you know, on the frontal plane. So you just lift vertically, and then this one is more of a rotation. So you have to twist yourself and work with your obliques, taking the time to contract everything properly. So this is how we're gonna end it. You take no breaks in between. So you go for 12 to 15. You go for 15 each side for a total of 30. You get done, get back to your feet, get back to the bar. We do that 3 times and we're done for the day. So nothing crazy. And if ever my number of reps is too much or not enough, you could go a little higher or a little lower. Always try to push yourself. Abs is good. It's good to feel that pain. And at the end of the day, it's gonna pay off, man. Kids are gonna punch your stomach and be like, ow, coach, how you doing that? So Neogenesis family, little recap of this workout. A good warm-up, explosive, engaging a lot of different parts of your body. Followed up with heavy deadlifting with a trap bar today. If you don't have access to one, you could do deadlift with a barbell or some dumbbells. After that, we did backs, so the rows, the pull-ups, and after that, the presses for the shoulders a little bit, trying to get, you know, the wide aspect of my body back. We've been running a lot these days. I was afraid to not be as strong as I used to be. I'm pleasantly surprised, but we gotta stay humble. All the time we stay humble, okay? We're proud of ourselves. After that, we put that back in that drawer and we get back to work, right? So if you like this workout, guys, really simple workout, but let me know, you know, if you have any takes on the topics we discussed today, if you feel any type of way towards what I'm saying, whether you agree or disagree, for me, it's good. You know, a good family has different opinions and also space for everyone to grow. So I just hope you guys enjoy your day. I hope you guys enjoy working out. And if you don't, I hope I'm giving you some motivation to do so. And I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm gonna keep you updated on what I'm doing. I'm working on a nice project here and it's gonna be a long one. So if people want to follow along, let's get on this journey together. So Neogenesis family, let me know in the comment which drill, which lift you like the most, and also which part of that workout you like the most. Smash that like button and stay tuned because we're gonna come up with more.